I want to show you what Jeannie Mai is saying about her dating life. As y'all know, she got married to Jeezy. They had a daughter together, Monaco Mai Jenkins, and then they broke up. And now she's giving an update about where she is in her life romantically at the moment. Okay, so take a look at what she had to say. Oh, did I not download it? Oh my God. I did not. So I did download it, but I didn't put it up here. So let me pull it up. She was on the Sherri Shepherd show. By the way, Sherri Shepherd is getting a lot of smoke right now. So first of all, she's crying over what is that guy, Jonathan, the guy who like beat up and strangled his ex. She's like, wow, like, thank you so much for doing this movie role. Well, like, girl, he just beat up and strangled his ex, and you're crying over this guy and trying to normalize him. Absolutely not. And then I do have another story for you guys about her situation with Nia Long. Apparently Nia Long like confronted her and put her hands on her and everything. Yup, get ready for that. And now here she is talking to Jeannie Mai about Jeannie Mai's current dating life situation. And to be honest with you, I'm not surprised that Jeannie Mai feels this way after all that she went through in her relationship with Young Jeezy. To be honest, given how quickly they divorced, I thought that they jumped into jumped into this marriage and whatnot, but come to find out they were dating for like a year and a half or something, which at their ages, right, especially if they wanted to have a child together, like it seemed like a decent enough amount of time. But listen, take a look and we'll talk.
Regardless if I do end up with somebody or not,
yeah,
I'm so happy that I have me.
One of the other things is, you know, being a single mom, because you hold your child's heart in your hands, is dating again.
Girl, the streets scare me. I don't want, could we just bring back spending time by yourself, journaling?
Yes,
sitting
you can
at
do
home
that.
in your grandma panties and just not caring that
you
nobody
can do all of that.
Like, I love right now.
Yes.
Honestly, I think my whole life we've kind of, as women, have been prepared to like, how are you gonna talk to your new boyfriend? How are you gonna get that first kiss?
Right.
Who are you gonna marry? Who are you gonna date when you get divorced? How are you gonna get back out in these streets? I don't want to be in the streets. The streets don't want me. I want to be by myself.
Okay.
I am paid for. Fully. Right. I am under warranty. I can eat my own French fries at that table. I don't have to share with anybody. I can go to bed when I want to. I can sit there and scroll aimlessly as long as I need.
That's true.
And I love that, like, right now, I feel like my 20s and 30s were really spent doing all the research, figuring out life, trying to figure out what you want and who you are. But then my 40s and 50s, now I know exactly what not to do. And I know exactly what I needed to do.
Yes.
And right now I get to apply everything that I need.
And that is all right. And that's why you need to be by yourself for a while to enjoy you.
Yes.
To enjoy everything that you do and enjoy
and
Monica.
become all of me, because whoever it is, if there is somebody, is going to really love what that woman's like.
The full person.
She is a piece of work, and she is coming for you, you know?
That's it.
And so that right there, regardless if I do end up with somebody or not, I'm so happy that I have me.
Well, I love that. Get to know you, enjoy you.
Yeah.
But sometimes, Jeannie, a little tingle happens there. The little tingle happens.
I know about the tingle, yes.
And so you can try to do a lot of things by yourself. Journaling ain't gonna get rid of the tingle.
Yeah, that's right. But
so
wait,
I'm just saying.
But Sherri, we didn't say that we can't have friends.
Okay.
We can have friends.
We can have friends. All right. They just gotta.
Do we all have friends?
We got friends.
All right then.
They just need to leave before the babies wake up. That's what
Listen, I'm with Jeannie on this. Why not? Like, live your life. You do not have to be in a relationship. Like, it's fine. But it makes me laugh a little bit when people go, can we bring back being single? Can we bring back journaling? Girl, like, when did it ever go away? You always had the right to be single. You always had the right to journal and stuff, you know, especially like in our modern age and whatnot. Like, do it if you want to. You can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of freedom that we have right now, right? Like, enjoy it. So I hear her. I imagine that relationship was extremely traumatic for her. They're still going through like major custody wars and stuff. So I get why she just is being a lot more cautious about things this time around. Good morning, Brandon. Nice to see you. Shem, did I say good morning to you earlier? Because I had bookmarked your comment. Good morning to you too, girl. And Brandon, we did talk about Garcelle leaving RHOBH. That was our third story of the day. Oh my God, it is so damn sad. But you know what? I think that this is what's best for her mental health. And so I definitely support her if that's the case, because don't forget, like, those girls were low-key racist to her and her son, especially. The audience has been racist to her and her son. So I see why she would want to just take a step back and take a breather, right? So I wanted to see some of the comments that y'all had left about Sherri, because y'all don't like her either. And I love that for us. Steph says, I feel bad for Jeannie. I feel like her and Jeezy, I feel like her and Jeezy really burned hot, almost like a love bomb. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta like let relationships, and it can be hard, right? Especially when someone just is so captivating to you, but you gotta let them kind of like macerate like a fine wine, rather than like going in quickly, especially because she had just gotten out of a 10-year marriage. So to go from a 10-year marriage talking about I don't want kids to just jumping right into something and then having kids with somebody like within like a year or two of knowing them, like that's insane. It really, really is, especially for such a big drastic decision. I feel like if she were always someone who wanted kids, like it would have made a lot more sense. I feel like his gaslighting game must have been extremely good to take her from I don't want kids, I've got too much trauma, I'm not doing it, to doing it within a year and a half. Like I need to know what the heck he was like putting down on that girl to make her feel this way. Sammy says, I love Jeannie and I feel the same way. Listen, I'm glad that there's a lot of love for Jeannie. I know that there were a lot of missteps on the real with the way that she spoke about this relationship for sure, but I think in general, she is a good person. It's just, she's someone who always puts her foot in her mouth, right? And I agree, Venetia, she definitely should stay single. Ashley, thank you for bringing your dog again. Good morning, just joining. I have you on TV at work for all the dogs. Oh my God, even what's the name of the dog in this picture? This one is so damn cute. I want to know who my friend is. And okay, yay, Shem is still here. Good morning, good morning. Kel, Jeezy took her through the ringer, and I agree. It makes me so damn sad for her. I think she really, really thought that it was going to work out. So again, just the fact that she went 40 years not wanting any kids to boom, having kids, and then boom, that relationship blows up in her face like that. Woof. Theo says, Sherri has been on my ish list ever since watching the Wendy Williams show from Wendy. She was besties with Elizabeth on The View, so Sherri supporting Jonathan is another strike. One thing about Sherri, she is a geriatric pick-me. She will always side with a man. And someone had brought up the thing about what she did with her stepson. I think it was you, Milan. There you are. Don't forget that about her too. Like, she's a deadbeat. She's a deadbeat. She chose to have a child with somebody, and then the child was born. It was by surrogate too. And then the child was born, and then she didn't want anything to do with the child because she was breaking up with the dad or whatever. Like, this is just such deadbeat behavior. And I could never forgive her for that either. Like, she's always going to be on the wrong side of every story. So I really cannot stand. And Theo's also talks about the way she kind of speaks down on her neurodivergent son. I believe he's autistic, right? Like, yeah, she almost like speaks as if she doesn't really like him at all. And it makes me uncomfortable. She's just weird in general. I really don't care for her, to be honest with you guys. Steph was asking a little bit earlier how we think people would react to Portia if she were to admit that she wanted a certain lifestyle. I think people would be calling her a dummy, because Portia, you have enough money to provide yourself that damn lifestyle. So what are you doing running around at your age with a child to care for, marrying random people you don't even know? Weren't you posting your daughter on that man's lap on Instagram like every other week, and you didn't know this man? You didn't even know if you were a legal citizen. You didn't even know his name. Like, are you okay? Like, I think people would drag her the way that she deserves to be dragged. She is a plum fool. A plum fool. That is one person I would never, ever in my life accuse of being intelligent. Storm says, I hate that he made that woman felt like it was okay to let her. Exactly. Honestly, it's such a big deal. What he did is it's unfathomable. I can't even imagine the trauma, because I imagine that was another trauma or fear of Jeannie's that made her want to be child-free is raising a child as a single mom, and for him to do that to her and the child is still like a baby. Wow, diabolical. Shem says Sherri needs to pray. Sherri needs to pray the pick me out of herself, because the way she was acting like the abuser, exactly, with some kind of role model, is crazy work. It better be a PR relationship. Exactly. You know else who needs to pray the pick me away? Megan Good. I have always loved Megan Good ever since I first saw her and Stomp the Yard. But as soon as she got with this man, I said, you know what? I'm good on you, Megan. I'm not supporting anything you do. I do not support women who excuse abusers. Okay. It's like, you do not care about other women being harmed or whatnot. Like, you will only care when it affects you, and trust and believe it will. It will, because that Grace Jabari is not the only person who accused Jonathan Majors of that, right? Like, another woman has spoken out, and then people who were not even in romantic relationships with him. Like, there was a whole expose on how he just verbally accosts people, and he likes to intimidate and be like weirdly aggressive with people and condescending to people that he works with. He's not a good person. I imagine that relationship is miserable. So you know what? Ugh, I can't. Ramser says, I've been happily single for a while, and it sure isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but Nebro, exactly. Listen, they both have their pros and cons, but it is always a million times better to be sad and single, or lonely and single, than lonely in a relationship. You know, that's my theory anyway. That's what I think. That's what I think. Again, everybody's different. Some people are just happy to be in a relationship, even if it's not a good relationship, even if it's not a healthy relationship, even if the relationship doesn't actually add anything to their life. But I'm not one of them. You know what? I'd rather be like alone and sad and hoping for a relationship than to be in that situation. April says, Jeannie deserves everything she got. Damn, that's a submissive lesson to women rubbed me the wrong way. You know what? And it was really gross. And it felt like she was doing a lot of kind of low key targeting Black women and kind of trying to lecture Black women on how to run a relationship and whatnot. And so it was offensive the way that she was speaking about that relationship, especially for it to just turn around and blow up in her face. In how long did that marriage last? Like 12 months, 13 months or something like that. Like, okay, maybe being submissive isn't working out for you. Shem says, in the words of Jessie Wu, that man was courting her in court. Who goes on a date to someone's criminal trial and then goes on to marry them? Exactly. And it reminds me of Karrueche too. Karrueche, do you guys remember her on Iyanla Fix My Life? She was claiming she didn't really know Chris Brown was a huge star. She wasn't with him for the stardom. But that man was going through court for beating up Rihanna. Everybody saw those photos of the way he beat her to the white meat practically, right? And then we heard about how she couldn't even breathe. He was trying to strangle, all sorts of crazy things. And so this man comes to you. Imagine this was a regular man and you're hearing about him on the news. And then he comes to you. He meets you at a job. And he says, oh, I want to ask you out on a date. And you know how he asks you out on a date? He picks up his phone at midnight and he texts you. He says, hey, we're going to go bowling around 3 a.m. Do you want to join? And you go, oh, the woman beater wants to go bowling with me at 3 a.m.? Yeah. Don't lie. I don't like when people make a mockery out of our intelligence or take us for stupid. You saw an opportunity to be with a big celebrity because he was huge at the time. He was going, if that didn't happen, or if he didn't do that, we're not going to use passive language with abusers. If he didn't do that, he would have been a massive, massive, massive star. He's still successful, but not the way that he would have been if he didn't do that, right? So I think that she, saw an opportunity there, and look how that turned out for her, And then she turned around, talking about, oh, he kicked me down the stairs. Oh, because you were supporting him when he was doing all that to another woman. Didn't care about it then. Oh, okay. Oh my God. Laisse tomber. Listen, y'all, let me grab a sip of water and then we'll be back on the flip side.